No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey, everybody. Um, just wanted to do a follow up on the Custodes video and clarify some of my statements. I have to admit that my process for making that video was realizing that there was something going on, um, doing a quick Google search on what exactly the drama was, and then doing a quick hot take on the subject, and I kind of just put it out there. I did not realize how a lot of the fandom had responded to it. I guess wasn't completely naive to think that people were being chill about this, or responding to it the way I did, which is kind of like this is sort of dumb, but eh, I've seen GW do dumber things. Um, but I do think that the fact that I made the video without a script and putting it out quickly, there are a couple of things I would want to clarify about my position, and things that I probably should have worded better. Number one, and the thing that I was dinged most on, was I had said that there was no definitive lore that explicitly stated that women couldn't be Custodes, and a bunch of people said they are referred to as the sons of the nobles in Terra, who were then taken and made into Custodes. Um, I should have mentioned that. I guess my point was that in the lore there are explicitly stated reasons why women cannot go through the process to become space marines. Like, literally, because of space science reasons, women can't go through the process to become space marines. So, like, that is more definitive, as opposed to, there's not really anything saying that um, that the Custodes process can't work on women. Uh, and in regards to people saying only the sons of noblemen, the Terran nobles, became the Custodes, I mean, you can use male pronouns to be inclusive. Like, the Imperium of Mankind has women in it. The Sons of Liberty, an old kind of revolutionary group in the United States, probably had female members doing something as part of the movement. Um, it it's like, yeah, it probably means that they're all male, or vast majority male, or not very many females. But sometimes you might just say, the sons of so and so, rather than saying sons and daughters, just to make it more impactful. It's like, mankind has longed to block out the sun. Sounds better than, men and women have longed to block out the sun. It's just more impactful to say man, or to say the sons of glory, or whatever. Um, so, yeah, I will admit I didn't mention that, and I probably should have, that they were referred to as the sons of Terran nobles. Fair point. Um, should have been clear on that, and I basically made it sound like they never said that anywhere, which is not correct. Uh, the other thing that I wished I had been a little bit more clear on, and been um, used better wording, was when I was describing, like, how and why people are sensitive about women being introduced to the fandom, or into places that female characters are ending up in roles that at least were implicitly and somewhat explicitly stated to be male only. Why people were sensitive to that, and I basically said that um, there are a lot of 40k people who are nerdy, and they're not very secure, and they kind of are relying on Warhammer to kind of be this is like really important in their lives, because this is kind of where they feel accepted, they feel like they're kind of, that people are socially rejected and found acceptance in 40k. To say that now, the problem with what I said is that that kind of language is very dismissive. It kind of paints everyone who objects to female Custodes as being uh, an asocial, unskilled social person who is a nerd shut-in who doesn't have other things going on for them other than 40K, which has been thrown in the face of people who have objected to this before. So, like, that's not... I would reword it and say that people are very protective of 40K because it's important to people, and that's fine. Like, that's a perfectly well-reasoned... and it's basically, people want to be protective of 40K because it's really important to them, and that that introduction of female characters into predominantly male spaces has backfired and been severely damaging to certain fan bases that were predominantly male. Because again, you end up with female characters who sort of exist to show up their male counterparts and be better than them and undercut male characters. So wanted to clarify that. Now, do I think that there are antisocial weirdos who play 40K who do not engage in pro-social behaviors? Yeah. I think our fandom would be naive to deny that there aren't people who are extremely unpleasant, immature people who play the game and take it way too seriously. There are literally fascists who play the game who really enjoy the fascist imagery and kind of the conquest of the world. Who take the satire of 40K, the parody of European imperialism and fascism, and also the Soviet imagery. There's a bunch of different things that 40K does beyond just being a metaphor for fascism. But there are people who are like, yeah, that's the way I want things to be, when that's not the point of 40K. The point of 40K is this is terrible, and no one should ever want this. Basically those people do exist, but I don't want to paint everyone who objects to the Custodes being female as being that way. There's good reasons to do it, or to be upset by it. I guess one other thing I would say that I would acknowledge fault in myself is not recognizing that this was going to be a touchy subject, and I could have handled this better instead of doing like, here's me just telling my thoughts. I think it would have been funnier if I had done a funny video of some sort about female Custodes, and like had characters doing some lines and pointing out how goofy it is without being so direct, because then it's like something still, it takes the directness off of it. Now, that being said, I think that there were some problems with some of the responses to my video of like, I think there were some people who were pretty seriously disrespectful. And I don't mind if you're, the funny thing is I don't mind if you're disrespectful, if you say I'm stupid, I hate what you do, I'm not going to watch your stuff anymore, unsubscribed. And people did. There was a fair number of people who unsubscribed because of what I said. And fair enough. If this is not what you want, if you want to watch things that are more up your alley, there are definitely creators that are gonna give you what you're looking for. Fair enough. That's fine. The one thing I would say about both people who were upset because I didn't condemn the female Custodes as hard as they would like me to, and that there were fewer people who were critical of me because I didn't completely embrace it for the same reason. I would say that there's one thing about those kind of statements that I wholly reject and find to be pretty awful, which is if you have a position which is you must have the exact same perspective as me, and if you are not, you are my enemy. It's like, well, then you're going to have a lot of enemies. You're not going to get along with very many people. You're only going to get along with people who are just like you, and people who are just like you are not fun to try to get along with. That goes for people who were saying, if you don't like female Custodes, you're a chud. That goes for people who were saying, if you give an inch on any of this, you are not a fan. You're a fake fan. You're terrible. You're a blah 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 blah. Okay, okay. You're not doing the job of being a human being if you cannot try to understand that another reasonable person would have a different opinion than you, even a slightly different opinion. I actually thought my take was pretty milquetoast. I thought it was kind of weak. I was like, this is going to be boring. No one's going to have anything to say about it. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, it was kind of dumb, and kind of leave it at that. But apparently people were a lot more upset about what was going on than I realized. Again, I don't fundamentally change my opinion on it. I think it's dumb. I think it's a weak sauce retcon. I put it up there with like, I'm blanking on his name, Yarick dying off screen. Like Sebastian Yarick dying off screen and not having like a thing address that. Like I was miffed at that. It's like, that's really stupid. We should get a little thing in aside, a little aside that says he's dead. That's such a big thing. He's such a beloved character, and he's not even going to get the dignity of like an actual death. I don't know if that's happened yet, if he's actually gotten that fleshed out. I've not had my finger on the pulse of 40K, if my video is any evidence of that. Been too busy. But so I still stand by by my big idea of what I said. It's dumb. It wasn't handled very well, and I don't trust GW to do good things with it. Could it wreck the whole fandom? Could it introduce political ideology that's not really conducive with the themes and ideas behind 40K? Yeah, it could be the slippery slope that some people are afraid of. I don't know that. I think there's going to be a pretty big backlash. But we'll see what GW does in response to everything. My guess is they're going to not make any statements for a while and wait for it to blow over, because that's what they always do. And I don't think it's going to deeply, fundamentally change things. That's my prediction. That's what I think. My position is still the same. Is kind of dumb. I don't think female Custodes is inherently a bad idea. I don't think they're going to handle it well. I just don't have the faith in them to do that. So that's my take again, and those are the things that I would correct about my original statement. Anyways, I'll see you all, and I'll try to get back to making fun videos with goofy voices. I'll see you all around. No Man out.